On day 2 of hearing in the presidential petition, the 7-judge bench took turns to question the lawyers representing the IEBC, the chairperson Wafula Chebukati, and President-elect William Ruto. Their responses are expected first thing when they sit tomorrow morning.
Mr. Mahat, I may have missed this, but I still want to clear my mind. This is a question I posed to Mr. Mudgora as well. So the format initially is JPEG. At what point exactly does it convert to PDF? Forget the CSV story. I guess Mr. Mudgora dropped that. But I just want to understand for myself. At what point? You've taken the image, you've asked all the questions, very good questions you've asked, the system has asked the question. At what point does it convert to PDF?
My questions will go to Professor Muigai, as we've been asked by a number of parties that they've asked us to settle the law around Article 138.3 and 10. In your submissions, you suggested that the term commission can be used in multiple senses. How do we know which sense will be applied when? As a former Attorney General, perhaps you can point out to us whether it is in regulations, it is in the law, but how do we know which sense is applied when?
In the arguments that have been presented before us, Mr. Chebukati, the chair, first mentioned a 65.4% turnout. And then he did indicate that that was bound to change as results kept streaming in, especially if you took into consideration the number of those who had voted manually and the numbers that had yet to come in from the elders. Now, it is the petitioner's argument that if there was to be any change at all, then that percentage would have to increase rather than decrease. So I don't know. And how relevant, again, is this turnout to the determination of whether a candidate gathered 50% plus one vote?
Another thing that worries us, and I think your team should answer, is why the live streaming of the results stopped. Because if Kenyans were able to follow the streaming from the beginning to the end, which was being done in the spirit of accountability and stability and transparency, then the rhyme which we were being told of the pige ponki would not arise, because there would have been no confusion. We know this is how things are happening, and therefore maybe the losing candidate who is being called to go to the National Tallying Center can decide not to go, because they know already the results. They are on the screen. We have agreed to from the beginning to the end, which was being done in the spirit of accountability and stability and transparency. Then the rhyme which we were being told of the pige ponki would not arise, because there would have been no confusion. We know this is how things are happening, and therefore maybe the losing candidate who is being called to go to the National Tallying Center can decide not to go, because they know already the results. They are